Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got the Q, but I've also got I, N, A and T to go with it. So I've got all of the short U-less Q words. So I should be able to play through this rack. It would be surprising if none of the plays just mentioned actually does play. So here we go. I've got cat, R and T. Do I have anything better? I've got cannat through the A, but I can't get the Q tripled. There's no way of getting rid of the O, which isn't a great tile to keep. So do I have anything other than cat? And can chi play? Would I be better off just playing chi here? I'm thinking in terms of vowel-consonant balance. I don't think playing AT helps this rack. I'm going with... No, I'm not. I think the extra points for cat justify playing at 18 points. Fantastic, I draw the first blank. I have obeying on my rack, which doesn't play. River takes an L and an S after it. I could have something through AR or TI. They're quite useful two-letter pairs. Wow. Great start for my opponent. 64 points. I do have a spot for obeying now, making LO. That opens up row O. Not a disaster. But do I have anything through T, E, R or M? Well, there could be something through all of them. Can't see anything with the T. The E looks less likely. What about the R? Well, not that I can see. Well, I nearly have Bryonese, but that doesn't quite fit. And I can't see anything with the M. I'm behind, so I'm inclined to play obeying. And that's partly because it opens the board wide open. 74 points. Well, that's not bad. Slightly vowel heavy, but there could be bingos through consonants, and there are quite a few consonants available on this board. Can't see anything with the T. What about the R? No. Close to opercular, one tile out. Not seeing anything with the M or the Y. What about G or N? No, close to apologue, not close enough. Now, what about Yoop Neal? I've got a feeling I played that recently in a tournament and it wasn't challenged, and I looked at it later and it wasn't good. However, that's been blocked, and I'm fairly confident it isn't good anyway. Just 15 points for my opponent, which is good. So I trail by just the 1 point. So how to sort this rack out? I need to sort out the vowels, the vowel preponderance, and in particular get rid of the U amongst them. Wow, I could do that with ampoule, but that would be placing an E in column 15. I don't want to do that. Too open. Do I have a double-double through the M? Not that I can see. Any super hot spots for the P? Possibly a PN word. My P can go next to LO. But I can't see a way of playing the U. I could play pale in that spot. Well, that's over 30 points. Maybe I should do this. But look at that rack leave. It must be possible to do something a bit better than that. I think ampoule would be better than that. I can't see an extension to crag. What about a play through the Y? Tricky, tricky rack. I was thinking about playing OUP, but that's just setting up column 8. Now YU is good. Well, that doesn't help. What about a play through the R, getting the P doubled? I have Pulau on my rack. Is there anywhere for that? Well, not that I can see. I've got puree. That doesn't feel good. I've got pelor, but again that's leaving 3 vowels. I've got alpa on my rack. Not seeing anywhere for that. So I'm going with pole for 33. Well, pretty grim. Still got a vowel preponderance, but not surprising since I kept 3. However, I did score 30 points last turn, which is good. Sometimes when sorting out a vowel-heavy rack, you end up scoring maybe 10 points or less. However, all I've done is postponed the problem to this turn because I didn't really sort out the vowel preponderance at all. I kept 3 of them. Now AUE is good, and a rack leave of tune isn't too bad. And AUE has the anagram of EAU. So I may be able to play one of those parallel to terminal. I can certainly play it parallel to YE. Wow. Great bingo for my opponent. 80 points and pretty big overlap, which Pile wouldn't have allowed, but Outeats would have played elsewhere. Now I could play Autumn. Quite tempting. Opening a new bingo lane and keeping T and E available. And getting rid of both U's. £16 points, not good. Double E, not a disaster. And it's keeping the board open. Now the play I was thinking about was EAU. So I could play that parallel to terminal. 13 points, keeping tune. Well, that's tempting, but it's closing the board down. But tune is a lot better than double E. Let me think about this. 13 minutes on my clock. I'm just wondering if I can play to the right-hand side of terminal to get the M doubled. Don't think I can. Now, UNOR is good. Keeping T double E. That's a better rack leave. I'm hesitating because this really shuts the board down and I'm 50 points behind. However, it is good to get rid of the U and the board isn't completely dead. There's row I. There's columns 14 and 12. And a play at the top of row 8 would open up row A. I'm going with this. Okay, not too bad. I do draw only consonants. And it's certainly not bingo-y. But I've got scoring tiles. I was just about to comment on the hotness of that triple letter square, but my opponent's capitalised on it. I don't have an O for going after ox or a Y. However, I can play Jew for 39, which is a good score and a good rack leave. Is there a better spot for the J? Am I overlooking anything at the top of column 8? Or parallel to terminal? No, I don't think so. And look, by playing Jew, I'm retaining the letters for be mixed next to go. Pretty good. I have baronet and reboant, and they both play in row I. That's probably the best bingo lane at the moment, so my opponent may attempt to shut that down. Wox takes nothing after it, so the bottom of column 15 has been shut down, but the top is available, and that may tempt my opponent. In which case I've got baronet, R and tit. Just looking at column 14 for parallel plays, but I don't think that's going to happen. Two letter sets created by Unor. Well, 9-letter words are pretty rare. And nothing's leaping out at me, although I do have the out suffix. Great. Opponent leaves alone my bingo lane. 11 minutes on my clock. Reboant or baronet. Baronet is better because it plays one square to the right, so it doesn't open up column 1. So baronet for 68. And that's not good. I'm 4 points behind. I was hoping I'd get a good pickup, but with 7 random tiles, this is just the sort of rack you end up with all too often. Probably not bad enough to change. I've got a scoring tile in the F. I draw my third U of the game. The Q having been played. So what can I do with this rack? I'm looking around for spots for my F. Well, there's FAR, but I can't get that to score twice. Nothing goes between J and me. FUD and FID are both good, but there's just no good scoring spots for them. Tit takes an E after it. I don't have one of those. It also takes an I, which I do have. Now, opponent kills row H for parallel plays. But look at this. He has opened up a spot for FID. For 34 points, which is a good score. Takes me into the lead, I think. And the rack leave has a degree of balance. So FID for 34. Great. Balanced. No duplicates. I can't see a bingo here, but this board is suddenly not a bingo board. I've got a lead of just 12 points, so this is going to be a tight game, but still 23 tiles to come. So what can I do with this rack? The U isn't a disaster, since all the 3 other U's have been played. And I'm light on vowels. Wow, 36 points for my opponent, but it gets the Z out of the way. Now I'm just wondering if I've got a play in column 8, making Yar. Well, I don't. I have nothing to go in front of NE, which is annoying. Let me look at the remaining vowel situation. 11 out of 28. Okay, so vowel dry. Yest is good. So I could play try, which preserves my vowels. I'm 24 points behind. I'm looking at these two-letter pairs to see if I have a bingo. I have the IUM ending. No, none of those are suggesting anything to me. So I've got try and yest. Only 19 points. Can I do better than that? BY is good, but I can't see any something YL words. So the best I could do at the top would be a two-letter play. It may be worth hanging on to the Y. If I drew one of the A's or E's, I would have pray. 8 minutes on my clock. Now, what about a play through IF? Or indeed ED? But IF is better for a non-bingo score. So, what I could do is drifty. 26 points. It's keeping my vowels, which is good. Only one I to come and no U's. It's opening up a slightly hot spot down from the D, but not a massive one. It's keeping open the top of column 8. And I have the P for making par. I could play just rifty. Keeping the D back for a big play in column 1. There is only one D to come. I'm going with this, 22 points. Okay, so do I have a 5-letter D play? Don't think so. I draw vowels, which is slightly annoying given that the bag was consonant heavy. In fact, I think I drew 3 vowels. Do I have anything at the top of column 8? Great, the rifty spot stays. Dopey, not good. Opponent takes out the top of column 8, but I trail by only 23 points, 7 minutes on my clock, 1 blank still to come. Now, is there really nothing with drifty, which would also sort out my vowels? I don't think there is, so I need to keep hold of the D. That is a super hot spot. I can burn the P, burn the I, burn the U, so I can play P, I, U. 15 points. Can I do any better than that? It's not a good score. But it is sorting the rack out. And it means I should have a 5-letter play in column 1 next go. I'm going with this. Wow, pretty good. Pi-U only takes an M, so row E, not a bingo lane. Column 4 is a bingo lane for bingos ending in R, but I think this rack only makes negroids that I can think of. I certainly do have plays in column 1. I have doing. Okay, opponent gets there first. So, what's left? Row N, the N of obeying, not available for a bingo. I now trail by 50 points. 6 minutes on my clock, 8 tiles in the bag. But this is a fairly good rack, and that R is available. The Z, probably not sufficiently useful. Can I open a second bingo lane? Still the blank to come, but a bingo ending in M, pretty unlikely. The trouble with this board is I can't see a way of opening a bingo lane, so I'm dependent on my opponent leaving that R alone, which he probably won't do. Just wondering if I have a play extending crag, which reaches the triple word square, and I don't think I do. So I no longer need to keep the D. ING not particularly useful with this R. So a play of GO somewhere would maximise my chances of bingo in column R. So I could play Go down here for 13 points. It's not providing any temptation for my opponent. My opponent could just play in row D to kill column 4. I think this is fairly desperate. I think I'm in a fairly desperate situation. There is column 15 with the Z, but that's unlikely. I just can't see a way of opening a bingo lane. I'm going with this. Well, that's 13 points. What about playing here? 15. I'm going with this. Well, that looks quite bingo-y, but do I have anything onto the R or through the Z? Not that I can see. The Z is far more useful at the end of bingos. Just wondering how much a crag extension would score. 30 points at the minimum, not great. I do have 7-letter bingos with this rack, but they don't play anywhere. The B is available, and BER is available. That's not looking very hopeful. So, what is there with this rack plus an R? Okay, well, opponent has quite rightly taken that out. He now leads by 60 points, 1 tile in the bag. I think the Z is my only bingo lane. However, I can create a new 7-letter lane just by playing EH, which opponent has got to take out. And he may score enough with that a play down from the Z doesn't win. Is this the best way of opening up column 2? Should I be playing... Well, DA was the only alternative, but then I don't have a front hook. I think I will go with this. I draw the W. That doesn't make a bingo with the Z. I have winders and rewinds. Neither of those plays in column 2. Opponent may realise that and not bother to block. Or I may simply have provided a good scoring spot because the F can go in front of EH. Just looking around in case I've overlooked a bingo lane. But I'm not seeing a lane I've missed. I trail by about 60 points, 53 points. I think the only way I can win this game is for my opponent to make a mistake, but I think that's pretty unlikely, given by the way they've been playing so far. So where can my W score? 11 minutes on my opponent's clock, so they've got plenty of time to find their best play. I don't have anything for going between N and Y, otherwise I could have a W something something play. I can't see anything which uses the Z. I've got So and Fids. 22 points. That's the best I've seen so far. EH does take an S. And FEH takes an S. So I've got Ys. Three minutes on my clock. Crag takes an S, but I'm not going to score very much by playing down there. Okay, so opponent does take out column 2. And I have Ys down here for 28, and I can see my opponent's remaining tiles. He is going to go out. He may be able to maximize his score if he thinks that by playing out in 2 moves, if he thinks I can't go out in 1, which is probably the case, but it's fairly academic. He has won regardless of what plays he now makes. So should he drag this out, what would be my best play? Well, he doesn't. And the final score, 367 to me, 445 to my opponent, a winning margin of 78 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. It was my opponent to go fast, and he has Varia, I think. Yep, and Riviera. Plays Riva. My rack, oh gosh, I didn't see Kintar, not a great rack lead, but quite a decent score. I scored 8 points less and kept EINO, probably not a huge difference between those. Opponent's rack, great start for him, Terminal and Tramline. Now I have Obeying, and the only other bingo was Biogenny. Gosh, at I1, making Ari. Okay, so I thought there would be others, but there weren't. Opponent's rack plays Crag. Now this was a rack I really struggled with. I thought about Ampoule. I didn't like sticking the E in column 15. Thought about EAU, but didn't find a spot for it. But down here, that would have been the play, keeping Lope. Instead I play Pole for a lot more points, but keeping 3 vowels. So the 11 more points certainly surpassed by the superiority of the rack leave after O. Great rack for my opponent. Plays out Eats. Now I trail by 50. I have this rack and I play Unor for 16, which has merits and demerits as discussed. Opponent has Mix for 53. Wow, 55, where's that? Okay, in column 8. Possibly played Jew a bit too quickly. Mind you, the rack leave of Bert, better than Jets, but I don't think it's 15 points better. I think Brew would have been the play. Opponent's rack plays Edge, and now I have a bingo. Baronet. Opponent plays Alike, and at this point I'm only 22 points behind, but I have a Grim rack. Triffid 44. Wow, look at that, down through the R of Baronet. Lovely play. Quite a nice rack leave. Instead I play Fid for 34. Yeah, 10 fewer points, so Triffid slightly better. Although Triffid does take out the R as the floater for a bingo. Opponent plays Tiz. And now I thought about drifty and changed it to rifty, and I still like that. Let me sure the positioning's the same. Yeah. Opponent did have the D. Doesn't use it this turn. Plays OH. K10. Podia playable in column 10, but that burns the D, which I wanted to hang on to. So all of these plays burn the D. I play Payu. I don't like that, but I do like retaining the D. However, opponent has the other one, plays Doves, and now I am 51 points behind. So, this is a nice rack. Do I miss something? No. Well, not a bingo. I play Go, and that's really to maximise my chances of bingoing in column 4. And the score isn't too far behind the others shown here. Opponent has the blank. He's got a nice rack. Plays Hangar. He really is in control. He takes out the 2 bingo lanes. He's got the blank. And he's sitting pretty. Now, this is my rack. Gosh, there is actually a 7-letter lane available in column 3. But I don't think any of my plays fit there. They don't. So at this point, I just play off 1 tile because there's 1 in the bag. And I still think that's the thing to do. Opponent plays Calf, but look at that, Crag fast available. That's a nice extension. And finally, I have this rack, and I play Wise for 28. I could have got 5 more points with Screw. And opponent goes out with Ecos for 18. Could have got 1 more point. So, that was the end of the game. Quite a tricky game to play. It was fairly close towards the end. Or in the middle of the game, it was fairly close. But I drew level with my opponent with Baronet and then drew a poor rack and didn't manage to recover from that, and it was a tight board and it was tricky to open additional bingo lanes. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.